Zeballos. So, in front of us, we have the agenda for the committee of the whole, Tuesday, June 9th. For those here in attendance in the gallery and those online, be aware that our meetings are recorded for public viewing and they are placed on a publicly available website. That was my call to order, and we will acknowledge that we are on the unceded First Nations land of Ihatasat Chinnikit territory.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any late, nothing. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried.
Motion to adopt the minutes of the April 14th, 2026 committee of the whole meeting.
Second.
Second.
Any errors, omissions, anything like that? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Any business arising from those minutes? Seeing none, Councillor Deck, your mic is on. If you could please mute it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do that. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, sir. And then as well, because I can't see, I don't think this time again, if your hand is up, you'll have to just wave at me, okay? If you'd like to get put on the speakers list. Okay, so that was business writing. No delegations or petitions or correspondence this evening. We'll write over the reports. So in front of you, we have a report. Staff has put a lot of time and effort into meeting with stakeholders and getting the steps towards the organization of the development of a cenotaph. We had some preliminary cenotaph design concepts that are in front of us. They've already had that stakeholder meeting, like I said. So the way forward is to kind of put a survey out to community and get their views and rathers on it, and that we choose a few of these designs for inclusion in that survey. Steph, did I miss anything?
No, thank you. I think that was everything.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's here for our perusal and our consideration. I think that the first photographs we have is the placement down at the waterfront. So we can discuss that if we'd like first, and then maybe kind of vote on the 3 or 4 that we would wish to put forward to the public for the looks of that monument. Yeah, Councillor Lewis.
I was just wondering why removal of the that little juniper tree. I just figured it was there for slope stability.
Sorry. Go ahead.
And they're just hanging on to
Thanks.
Through staff, yeah.
through staff. Sorry,
No, that's okay. I was just,
throwing it up there.
I wanted to know if you were done or not. Excuse me, sorry.
Through the chair. So it doesn't necessarily have to be removed. Staff looked at it and it seemed like a very opportune place to put it. In speaking with the public works foreman, that bush has seen better days. There was an improper haircut done years ago to it, and it would be quite easy to remove and centralize a cenotaph location. But being committee of the whole, we are open to other areas within the foreshore for council to direct us.
And just for background, that I did some digging. It's from the old school site when the old school was there. That's where it came from. Apparently, somebody I talked to, they said that way before the time that the school was taken down, it wasn't doing well over there, so they replanted it there to do better. So that's just a little bit of background that I dug into. Is that meaning that would you want to suggest a different location for it than that, further to your ask?
I would have to go down and actually look to see exactly where it would fit in there. Where it could fit in there without doing any damage or not damage, but digging up the bank area.
Looking at the picture of the area from the aerial view, and I was down there today kind of poking around and looking. There is the planter that has the Village of Zeballos kind of logo on it. It's one of the significant concrete planters, and that could be relocated if it was something, if that was, but I was just looking around there and seeing, right? So that's kind of that empty
that's right
spot.
there.
Yeah. Any oh, go ahead.
And it also makes it closer to the Works Memorial then too, does it not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Workers' Memorial is on that side, the juniper bush is on that side, and that, yeah,
Yeah.
is in the middle.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the choice?
I don't think we've really, have we just said that that's where we want that, or are we going to tear the juniper bush out, or does anybody have any other comments?
Whatever. Take it out, it's just a bush. We got a lot of greenery around here. I mean, I think getting rid of the bush and centering it there would be smart. Start fresh and we can landscape around it instead of using the landscape that's already there. Yeah. I think it's a fair decision for who's installing it too.
And I guess that will kind of depend on the size of the monument that the public chooses as well. So is that something that we have to accomplish here tonight? I think we've kind of, from what I'm hearing, either where that juniper bush is or in that general area, not in the other park side or on the road or anything like that. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Am I correct in that, Council?
Sure.
It would be interesting to have maybe a conversation with someone who is, I know we had arborists out here about how deep those juniper bush roots go and that kind of, if you're not sure already, just so that we're aware of issues that may happen with the bank if we do remove it. So I'd be interested in knowing a little bit more, maybe. Just as it's right on the forest road there. If that's the direction we choose, we should know ahead of time what that looks like. Councillor, to kind of ease Councillor Lewis's. Anything else from anybody? Councillor Deck, thanks. Put your mic on, sir.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Do we have any idea how big this monument is expected to be?
So I can answer that. There's a series of pictures that was sent to you with the agenda today. And there's a
Yeah.
series of 6 kind of options. And so I think it depends on what we're choosing to give the public if we wanted a large. So these are kind of it within our cost frames, the ones that were given today. Does that answer, or do you
Yeah.
need more from staff?
Yeah, I'm just afraid that some people are going to get carried away and want this to be a huge monument. I don't think that's necessary. I think a simple one with just lest we forget is a good start. Thank you.
Thank you for that, sir. So let's move on to that then. So we've got these 6 kind of options in front of us. I think if we go 3 across the top, 1, 2, 3, and number them, and then 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, and kind of figure out which ones we want to give. If we want, do we want to give a survey to the community and see what their position is on it? Is that something we're looking towards and we're gonna make a resolution on as suggested by staff, or? I think that's a great idea to involve the community in it.
I would love to see if anybody gets involved, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that frame of mind then, and knowing that, is there a second one in there? Yeah, if we go across the top and go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 on the bottom, then I think it'll be a little bit easier to tell. Does anybody have suggestions for 3 or 4 that they really, or let's figure out what's people's first like? Which one do you prefer, Councillor Janice?
I like the one in the middle at the bottom. 5.
Okay, Councillor Lewis,
Number 3.
Councillor Jack,
I'm with Councillor Lewis, thank you.
okay. RG, and then, I think I like 1 probably best. So do we want to put those 3 options, 1, 3, and 5 out to the community? That would be an easy way of kind of solving that.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, so we need some resolutions. Would any of those initiate having to take out, what is, sorry. I don't remember what. Oh, because those ones kind of wide, yeah. So let's leave those, the decision about whether it belongs where the juniper bush is or in between until we get answers back from community. That sound like a good way forward with council?
Yes,
All right. Recommendations then. I'll move that staff be directed to prepare a digital and paper survey outlining the options for a village center tap to be placed at the port. In the general area outlined in the report, so that it covers both of those.
Second now.
Is that clear enough for staff? Does that either, but do you want me to put specifically where?
No.
Okay, okay.
General is fine, because as council has mentioned, if we come across difficulties in removing the bush, then we would be back in front of council anyway.
Perfect, okay. There was a seconder for that. Any other comments from anybody? Oh, okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Oh, and I didn't write the second one in there. That staff report the findings of a survey for council consideration at a future council meeting. I'll make that.
What's your second?
Perfect. And anything else from anyone? All in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. Thank you. Okay. Second, on reports, so we have in front of us a volunteer fire department staff report. We know that there are decreasing attendances at practices, that there's reduced availability of qualified responders, and it's also difficult to attract new members. We had I think a motion from Councillor Janice that it comes back with kind of a stipend mode that we look at that. So we've got that information in front of us. We also have a recommendation, from staff or a notice from staff that the fire department intends to put a survey out to the community and find out what those barriers are. So is that through staff? What have I missed?
Thank you. Yes, so I am arranging a meeting with the Addisat administrator to sit down with her and perhaps a couple of her counselors to discuss what's included in the survey, if there's some additional questions need to be asked, as our fire service does affect both sides of the river. So, we really want to include the Addisat First Nation in that decision-making matrix. For council decision making tonight or discussion, Chief Warren is here, and I'm sure can answer any further questions that will help council in this discussion.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. So then I will put that back to, council. Any questions for Chief Moran or for the CIO?
Sure.
Councilor Janice.
So what are your thoughts about the firefighter, their team, and what is gonna get them to stay? And what is gonna make people want to get more involved, new people, and what's gonna get them to stay?
That's a whole lot of questions. That's really deep.
Yeah, is it? You've probably been thinking about it, I'm sure.
3 years I've been thinking about it. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very tough question. I think a lot has to come down to engagement has to be getting out to them, getting them engaged, and then winning them over with something, whether it's stipend, whether it's benefits, whether it's a fancy new truck, I don't know. But we have to engage them in something. Make it exciting, maybe some better training, some more call outs. But we can't have more call outs if we don't have people to hand them, for one. I mean, we'd like to do road rescue training to do more, but the minimum requirement for road rescue is 6 members. And on average, we get 4 respond, so we can't really do more training if we don't have a larger group. Yeah. It's tough.
For the CIO.
Thank you. If I may, that's what we're hoping to determine through the survey is what some of those barriers
Sure.
Yeah.
may be, because honestly, all of our guests is sort of a crapshoot at this point. So actually hearing back from the people that serve the community will help us better determine that direction to go.
Why, I want to tell you this, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I've said at meetings that, my good friend in Ontario was in a small town and they had a volunteer fire department, but they got paid by the hour.
Yeah.
And he was a kind of a new father and there wasn't a lot of things that he could do to make extra money outside of his job, right? So he got into this and they were doing like, every week it was like 3 hours and then every other Saturday, whatever. And then all your call outs, they were all making money, right? And they were able to supplement and do something for their families or for themselves with some extra money and take the pride of being a volunteer, right? Because you still are really, you're getting a little something. And he was so excited about it and it was so fit in to how things worked for him. And that little bit of grease, that little bit of cash really helped the situation for everybody. And it ended up being a lot of, fathers and it became a little clique. And then everybody showed up because it was like a job too, right? So anyway, I think also retaining what we need from such a small population is the biggest challenge. And so if we have incentive, then that might be what it takes. Because there's also not a lot of ways in Zeballos to make money. There isn't a lot of places, like you can't go and get a part-time job. You'd be lucky if you can get a decent job, let alone a part-time job that would help you out to supplement your life or something, right? But that's kind of my trend of thought with all this. And I mean, we could try it, like it's a good idea to ask. I think people appreciate it though, especially the firefighters, or a good part of them. And I mean, we could also try it and we could see if it works, right? And I don't think it's going to be super expensive either. We haven't looked into that, eh?
There's a bunch of options in the report that would kind of let you know
I mean, about actual cost.
through the CAO.
Thank you. Yes, it's, as mentioned in the report, it's going to be very dependent on the amount of members, the amount of call outs in the year. Yeah, there's a few variables that need to be looked at. And unfortunately, once we start paying them, they do cross the threshold into an employee. So, if this is the direction that council wants to go, there would need to be subsequent reports from staff to support that.
Is that it for you?
For now.
Councillor Deck, yeah, I see you, sir. Thank you. Oh, you need to turn your mic on, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Looking at some of the options, there aren't that many call outs. But I prefer the idea of paying a certain number of members to be on call. Then they're ready all the time to being paid. It was just for call outs, if I remember right, the last report from Chief Moran showed there was, what, 2 call outs maybe in a matter of months?
Yes.
That's not going to keep people involved. Being on call, they're ready to go. I think that's the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. From other, and I'm hoping that when we come to that part that we do like a cost analysis of benefits or benefits for instance, so that there's a multiple options for us to see what works for membership, what works for. I know last meeting we had talked about possibly a situation where that would tip someone over a tax bracket or something, and some people would like the tax break and some people would like the pay, and so maybe that there's some options that we could probably maybe just explore. I know that would come in different, and I know that there are all sorts of options in the graph that you've shown us, so thank you for that information because that was really helpful. I think at this point tonight, we are going to wait and see what the survey says with the community, but I would be open to any more comments or questions from council. Councillor Dack.
Thank you, Mayor. That's an excellent point you make. Pay can come in all kinds of different ways, and we should really look at that for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, especially while we have Chief Moore in here? Was there anything else that these brought up for you guys? No? Did we make a motion last time we've already gone, you're already in process of that survey. We've got kind of some questions in mind, and thank you and your team for really looking at the variables as the CAO said, and what those barriers are and how it's moving forward. I think that those kinds of things in itself show that we are invested in our department, and so I'd appreciate those that invest back with us. So thank you for that. Other questions or comments? You guys are good? Seeing none, there's no recommended motions coming out of this one, so thank you for that. Is there anything that you needed from us, CAO, before we move on?
No, thank you. This, as stated, the results of the survey will come back to council.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for that. So that one is done. Mobile home park technical paper. And boy, was they technical. I'm gonna ask the CAO. I know this is here for our information as part of our, way to process. While we're looking at these, are there things that you want us to take special note of? or are there, I know that there were no kind of reports, included in it yet. What's the kind of timeline on that? So those are two questions I have for you, and then we'll open it up if we.
Thank you, to
So
the
thank
mayor.
you.
So no specific timelines. I think, page 23 of 98 is the page that council needs to focus on, because this is very much going to, give us the timeline on getting these projects done. The cost is definitely much higher than anticipated. And there are multiple ways that we can move forward with this. The obvious being applying for grant funding, but that will, as we've seen, grants in the past often take a year before there's an announcement. And this could, delay any forward progress. One of the other options that we can look at is, although in the end more expensive, doing small pieces, as we can afford it. And the primary one would be doing the sewer and potentially the water in one go and leaving the electrical. And the other more expensive ones to a later date. Because I do believe we have budgeted most of what it would take to do the sanitary sewer currently. So it would be some additional budgeting to do the water and the sewer at the same time. But as I said, there's no recommendations coming out of this. This is for council's information to see what our engineers had come up with, and provide any further questions or responses that we can move forward to the engineers, or file this until we either look at budget or council wants to have staff look at one particular method more than another.
Okay, thank you for that. And of course, these guys would be available to come and present to us if we had any further questions of them that you couldn't necessarily get to or anything like that. And then the last piece, I think, what I was wondering is, some of the reports that are in, some of the technical papers that are in here are from previous iterations of council. And I'm wondering if you could, just for my information, I'm just wondering if you could forward those reports. Like the actual report pieces that went with the.
Oh, absolutely.
There's like from Highland, those, just so I can refresh my memory more.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just an ask to see, for the reports that were included with these reports, with these technical papers, sorry. Okay, so that kind of gives us, do we have to do a oh, what's the study that comes before the study that comes before the study, please?
Feasibility?
Feasibility, thank you.
No, these are engineered drawings. We
Okay.
could move forward with the, moving to tender almost immediately. We just need to get final sign off from the engineers. And this is part of that process, making sure that there's nothing untowards from council.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so through to council, we've had time to review these, questions, comments, things that we can take back to the engineer. Any of those things are open, to kind of clarify, and then of course, no decision tonight, however, we're keeping these in mind because there will be future reports on these. Okay. Council? Councilor Lewis, please.
I'm just curious, looking at the site layout.
What
There's
page are you on?
page 19.
Okay.
There's a number of them that take up 2 lots. So obviously people are not gonna have to move, I would say.
Yeah. There are some legacy, issues that would need to be involved in the final subdivision.
Yeah, so their final count would be out there as far as not available.
Not as far as service drops, with the intention that this would be a long-term plan.
Okay, Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Deck, did I see your hand waving before? Yeah, thank you. Oh, and your mic again, sir. Nope, still can't hear you, sir.
Pardon me, but I was just falling off the bed trying to keep my
Oh.
balance.
Sorry about that. No questions then from you. You're just gonna take it as information. Thank you, sorry. The joy with, distance. Did you,
Sure, yeah.
okay, Councillor Denise?
I think that we need to come up with this money and do this project. And I think we need to try to move forward, and I think we have a really good starting point here, and we're at a point in Zeballos where we need to start doing. And this is a great plan and a great idea. And it fits into the economy, that we're faced with, where we could have people create something, or we could, maybe put small houses, manufactured houses on here. We could have them for sale maybe, or for rent, or as a municipalities, we could do these things. And reasonable places to live on Vancouver Island don't exist. I think it's a great idea, and I'd love to see us try to get some grant money so we could push forward on it. That's where I'm at.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Deck?
Thank you, Mayor. As difficult as it is to agree with Councillor Janice sometimes, this is not one of those times. This is a very good idea. And we should push forward. One of the few things we can actually do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and the reason these are here is because we've told council that this is a priority. We've asked for these. I'm wondering, if a grant, so you said you have money aside for, was there anything else from anybody? Oh, and I think going well, so I'm just gonna go, and then if anybody else has any questions, like, they can ask after. Is there, you said we had money for the sewer project, that we had money in the budget that was assigned for that. Can we, and I know it's more expensive than we probably have budget, is that true?
Yeah, so the money we have budgeted, it's not specifically for sewer. Just looking at what the costs are, that's about the only one that we could afford with it. So what we have in the budget is for the development of the mobile.
Yeah, perfect. So is there a way to leverage that money on grant money to do the water at the same time? So if there was like a 50-50 grant out there or something like that, that we could, is that
We could definitely review.
right? Because I think that's a way, well, we've already got it dug up, well, we've already, I'd like to know if that's something, a way we can move forward, because I know there's like 25, 25, 25s, there's 100%, but sometimes there's other ones that are 50-50, and if we can leverage this money against and do both at the same time, then I'm of the opinion that that's probably the best case scenario.
I can reach out to Jeff with the Department of, used to be JEG, Jobs, Economic Growth.
Growth, there you go. Did you
And-
love it when they change those names on
Yeah,
us?
yeah, and that's an economic development branch of the provincial government that can support us in finding grant funding.
Right? That would be is that kind of a direction to staff then to go,
Please.
is that, yeah, okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, and then, yeah, electrical, kind of working on that afterwards. Is there, that it's all pole, it's not underground?
That's correct.
Okay, good, so that's, I'm just thinking if it was underground, then we would, that's another piece that, well, it's dug, right? Okay. Okay, so as a way moving forward, that kind of gives you a bit of direction, at least for more information gathering.
Yes.
All right. As you're going through these, if anything else catches your eye, please forward your questions to the CAO because that will come out in further iterations of reports to council on this general plan in general, on this plan in general. Perfect. Anybody else have any other questions at the moment? So it's so interesting to read these and like have to think like an engineer, and I mean, report summaries are fantastic. Just say them. So yeah, the questions through to JEG and the reports that go with the technical papers would be great for us for next time. We good with that? All right, folks. That brings us essentially to the end of our meeting. So do no violation of new business. So if somebody can make a motion to go in camera, that'd be great.
Council go in camera, the community charter section 91K negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of the municipal services that are at their preliminary stages, and that in the view of the council could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality if they involve in the public. 92B the consideration of information received and held in confidence relating to negotiations between the municipality and another local government or between another local government and a third party.
In English, please.
Okay.
Thank you for that. The gallery will, but you'll get your chance next. All in, any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay, now we have public question and comment period. I'm sure that you folks are aware of the rules. I don't have to go through them again. Please can stand up, state your name, where you're from, and interesting to hear what you have to say. And also, we reserve the right to not answer tonight if we don't have the answer. Or that you can come in anytime and talk to staff. They're always at the desk when we're open. You, ma'am.
I've got a question that, on this side of the town, we don't get serviced by a septic system, but we have our own septic fields. Now, how many of those septic fields are actually like built to code? And will there ever be a sewer on this side of the town for those people who need it? And also by extending, unlike small houses, I love the idea of small houses and what people can afford. But our infrastructure for water and sewer are kind of questionable in a situation like that. That's it.
Thank you for that. And just to partially answer your question, I'll put through stuff as well. But for our priorities, the water and sewer is we know we have failing infrastructure. We know the needs of this side. And so did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, in 2025 through a provincial funding source called the Strategic Priorities Fund, we actually did apply for funding to get an east side sewer design done. So we're still awaiting the results of that grant funding. This is one of the ones that's taking an abnormally long time for us to hear the results, but yeah, that is something that we're pushing forward.
Now, I've got a little bit of an addendum to add to that. If you have an approved septic system, you don't have to be on city sewer.
Not if it's provincially approved.
Not what?
If it's provincially approved.
Okay, well, they are. Although one goes back probably 30 years.
Yeah, and feel free to come in and talk to staff anytime about item specific stuff.
I do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mayor?
Deborah Warren. I just have a few comments regarding the fire department. First of all, are our volunteers currently covered by insurance? As a volunteer, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And historically, the fire department has been a council bane. I recall many conversations trying to figure out retention and
Maine,
recruitment.
Maine? Is that what-
Yeah, is that the wrong word?
No, I just was making sure that's what I heard.
Yeah, no,
Thank
we've discussed it on many occasions in my 13 years on council. So it's been something that has been in council's round for a long, long time. So I'm glad to see that it's being discussed again. I think you answered my question. Is there grant money available to fund some of these incentives?
I thought we were gonna put that through the staff.
Thank you. For certain items, particularly training, and, apparatus, structure, there is, lots of grant funding. Unfortunately, grant funders typically don't, fund stipends or pay rates or
Exactly,
employees.
yeah, so, yes, that answers my question. There's no money available to pay for these incentives in regards to a wage or a stipend or a gift certificate, whatever, yeah. If I could ask Councillor Janice to just elaborate a little bit on your discussion with your fire department that we're getting paid hourly? Was that a minimum wage or was that a special wage that they came up with, or how was
It
that?
was a long time ago, but I think it was 25 bucks an hour.
A long time ago, it was 25
Yeah,
bucks
it
an
was pretty
hour?
good money, yeah.
That's a lot, yeah,
It was probably like in like 2004,
okay.
2003.
Okay, so,
Not long time ago.
yeah, well,
Just
25 bucks, so
one long.
25 bucks 5 years ago was a lot of money for an hourly wage.
And like I was explaining, it was like, it was worth doing.
Mhm. And just to elaborate one step further, was that just for the 2 hours of the firefighters?
I think it was-
once a week, or was that on call as well?
It was the trade as a practice. And then one Sunday or one Saturday for 8 hours a month. And then any call-ups.
Any call-outs, they got paid
Just-
hourly.
Yep.
Okay, then. Yes, so I think part of our discussions in the past were, what is the value to our participants? That might be, hopefully that will come out in this survey, but that is the biggest question that we always pondered was, where is the value to those volunteers? In today's society, being proud of your community and being proud of participating in an endeavor is not a value to anybody anymore, especially the young people. So that's why we need to investigate some kind of monetary or some kind of in exchange incentive to get these, especially to get the young people involved. And then I just had one other question, if you don't mind indulging me. In regards to the RV or the mobile home park assessments. Okay, so McElhaney is just the engineer who is making the suggestions. These costs, have they got more than one quote from different companies to come up with this established dollar figure that they've given us, or is it just? So is there a possibility that there could be some savings somewhere with a different company or not?
I am gonna put that through the staff, although these are our engineers that we have hired. I'm gonna put it, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There are different levels of quote, so this is just a quote, there's class A, class B, class C, class D.
Okay.
This is a class B quote, so what they do is, they review typical size projects in typical, or relative areas, so, you know, if something was done in Tassus, they would look at what that cost was, and so they provided an estimate based on what they know is going on in the construction industry right now. When we go to tender, that's where we will go out to multiple different contractors and find out if we can get a lower price.
Okay. So this amount could be more, considerably more. Yeah, okay. One more question and then I'll let it go on to somebody else. Are there any upgrades to the Keno lift station that are necessary in order to do this project? Or is it currently able to take on this extra water flow, or do we have to upgrade it?
I think from what we read in the report, there does need to be an upgrade, especially power and water outages and things like that, but I'll put that through to staff as well.
That's correct. We would go back with the current direction from council. We'd go back to the engineers and look at current flows, today's flows. Could we make this work as we are? And then just not permit any more additions if we're at limits, or come back to council if further upgrades needed to be done. We do know long-term though, Keno lift station does need to be upgraded.
It does. Thank you very much.
Perfect. All right, thank you for that, folks, and thank you for coming to the gallery. If that's all, we don't have a rise, we do have an adjournment to do.
Motion to adjourn.
Perfect, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Thanks so much for coming.